Shedeur Sanders is a wildcat, all right? This is a guy who said he didn't like how he was playing, and I can't find it, but I will. But you can, I like, you know what I'm talking about when he said, sorry, Pops. Like, that was the energy of the interview. The whole thing, that was the energy, right? So the fact that, like, everyone, including Shedeur, apparently, is spinning this to be like, this is one hell of a game. Like, man, you know what? It's like what this guy said from Verizon once to me. One time, I had internet. I have to pay for internet in my apartment. It's a pain in the ass. Paying for internet sucks. Not to complain, but it's just internet companies treat you like shit. And I changed providers to Verizon. Because this is probably going to get me doxxed, by the way. But some dude, I picked the worst color possible. Some dude comes to my apartment, knocking on doors, saying, hey man, I can reduce your internet bill, like, to nothing, basically. Right? So I sign up. Internet, right? I get it, and it comes in, and I don't really plug it in because I have my other internet installed, and I don't want to switch it. I'm going to keep messing with this light until I figure it out. I don't want to switch it, so I let it sit in the box until eventually my other internet goes out, and I'm like, well, time to plug in the other one. So I do that. That looks fine. I look ridiculous. That's the worst color I could have picked. Anyways, internet, I plug it in. Of course it doesn't work. Because my stupid ass didn't want to try it. See, they gave me a 30-day test run, and I said, no way, no thanks. Because I'm not some schmuck that's going to try out different internets, all right? I trust that it's going to work, all right? Of course, when I plug it in, it doesn't work. So now I got to call the internet provider that I'm not going to say the name of again because I don't want to get doxxed. And I have to call these people and explain to them that the internet's not working. The thing about internet not working is that sometimes it does work. Sometimes this light's bugging me. Sometimes it does work. But like when you have spotty internet, that's what it is. It's spotty. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Finally, I got the light right. So of course, when I call the guy, he's like, you're getting good megabytes. You're getting good numbers. What are you talking about? I'm like, dude, I wouldn't be making this up. Like, I'm trying to watch shows on a TV, stream them, and, like, I'm getting kicked out of the app. I'm not making this up. Stuff's not loading. I may as well be in Mount Himalayas with this internet, right? We are on the phone for an hour trying to figure out how to use this internet router. Funny thing about this internet provider, they let you do, like, a FaceTime. They'll let you, like, access your camera and like show them what's going on. That way the guy can like piece it together. So I am showing this guy my bedroom, showing him the router, being like, here, like he's like, and there's two cables. The one that plugs into the wall and the one that, you know what? I think there's one cable. The other one is plugged Ethernet into my computer. There's one cable, bro. You have to plug it into the wall. And he's like, did you plug it in right? I'm like, dude, I'm not a moron, all right? I know how to, like, I can plug in an internet, like, who has an issue with plugging an internet box into a wall, okay? I plug it in, it's not working. The guy has me unplug it, of course, call cuts out, but I get back on the camera thing, re-plug it back in. We do that, like, 3 times, and this router has, like, different lights, so I'm not gonna go into too many details. The point is that it's taking forever to reboot. I'm on the phone an hour with this guy, okay? To the point where he has me break into the internet box, the router, because inside the router, there's another device that's apparently also called a router. I don't understand internet tech lingo at all. He said that was the router and that the thing that we were, like, the big thing is the box and the thing inside is the router. This guy was really messing with me, all right? So I go inside the box. I pull out this little, like, string thing. I have the box in my closet. I'm not going to go grab it. This, but like, string thing. And I tape it to my window to increase the internet. So now I'm physically moving the router to try and fix my internet. Like an idiot, bro. Like as if moving it 4 feet is going to get it closer to the satellite in space, right? So I take the thing out and I tape it to the window, and of course it doesn't work. Of course the internet does not work, okay? This dude on the phone tells me to try moving it, I swear to you, to another room. And I'm like, man, we have tried moving the router. The box. We have tried taking out the router. We have tried everything. I live in an apartment. I don't think, I'm really going to get doxxed. I don't think that moving it, I don't know, 20 feet horizontally is going to change anything. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And I'm trying to explain it to this guy, but I worked in customer service, so I know what it's like being on the other end of someone treating you like garbage. Because you're a customer service guy. They're supposed to listen to your problems because the customer's always right. Okay, I don't want to be mean. I understand that this dude is working in some call center for Verizon, dealing with people who have issues with their phones. That is a tough gig. That is a job that requires a lot of patience and a lot of courage. I'm not trying to be mean to this guy, but he's treating me like I'm 4 years old. Did you plug it into the wall? What do you think? So I finally kind of not lose it on the guy, but I tell him, I'm like, frankly, sir, I'm not going to move the box. I don't think that's going to work. I think I'm just going to go ahead and cancel this if we can't figure something out. And he's like, well, hold on. Let's just reboot the whole thing, which we had already done. But he's like, there's another way to reboot it. If you go inside the box, so this is the second time I've gone inside of the router box. Okay, so I'm basically like a rocket scientist at this point. I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson with this unnamed internet provider box. Okay, I screw into it. Of course it screws, by the way. Screw into it, manually reset it, and the light is now a completely different color. He says it might take 5 to 10 minutes. And I'm like, that's exactly what I want. To sit another 5 to 10 minutes with this guy on the phone. So I'm like, great. And the worst part about being on these phone calls is you feel like you can't do anything else. When you're on the phone with a customer service rep, you really are stuck there. Because you don't want to like watch TV and have them like hear what you're doing. And then like, what if they say something and you don't hear it? Then you gotta ask them to repeat it. And it's like, you don't want to be rude. Like, it's just like awkward, right? So I normally go on mute. So I'm sitting there on my phone, on mute, feel like I can't talk still because I'm not gonna like just talk for the hell of it. I'm still like on the phone with someone. I'm still listening to what he's doing. He says, hey, by the way, he comes back from the hold. Hey, by the way, I wanted to tell you something. I'm like, oh, did you figure out the internet? And he goes, no, man, you're due for an upgrade. Have you considered going in and upgrading your phone? And I really wanted to hurl some profanities at him. I really did. But that's when I remembered that I'm not dealing with a guy that just has my internet, which as a guy who likes to stream to the internet, like, internet is kind of an important thing to me. Also, he has my phone. I don't want to get on this guy's bad side. And I don't like being mean to customer service people. But he tells me to upgrade my phone. As if that's what I'm trying to do at that point. Like, yes, the internet doesn't work. I would love to continue working with this company. Mind you, we are like 45 minutes into this why doesn't my internet work call, and all we have tried is unplugging it, moving it, and resetting it from the inside. I could have gotten that from Reddit. I love when customer service people tell you to unplug and replug something in as if you didn't try that before you called. I'm getting off topic. The point is that this guy was talking to me like an idiot, and then he started pitching me a new phone, and I wanted to tell him to jump off a telephone wire, but I couldn't because he had my internet. Okay, and I wanted to see if this new thing was going to work because there were new lights on my internet. I was feeling it. This might work. It's so crazy, it just might work. Of course it doesn't, right? It doesn't work. And it is to a point where I'm like, man, you know what? Scratch it all. I'm just going to get new internet and move the hell on. And I'm like, And this extender doesn't even work, by the way, because they come with an extender because they're not confident in their product. So it comes with a complimentary extender. Why don't you just build the extender into the thing? I don't know. I'm not a tech guy. It doesn't make sense to me, right? It seems like just wasteful nonsense to try and sell you like, oh, we're also throwing in an extender for your 1-bedroom apartment. It's like, thanks. I was really worried about it going from my front door to my bedroom, all 30 feet. Anyways, all I'm saying is I say the extender doesn't even work. And he says, wait a minute, what extender do you have? And I say, I have the gray one. It's like a little gray box. And he says, wait a minute, that's like for, where do you live? And I'm like, California. And he's like, do you live in like the middle of nowhere? And I'm like, no. Someone came to my apartment and pitched this to me. What are you talking about? No. What? My address is on my profile. I feel like this is all pretty like hand-to-hand stuff. Like, I feel like when you're a customer service guy and they give you the profile of the person you're talking to, I feel like their address, or at least their location, comes up. Shit, at least look at my area code. It says on the call. I know where they're calling from. So he's like, wait a minute. Why do you have the gray box? And I'm like, what answer do you want from me here? I remember this conversation very well. I was so pissed. I'm like, what do you want from me here? Like, I don't know why I have the gray box. I'm like, dude, sir, I don't know what you're talking about. They gave me a gray box. I didn't ask for anything particular. You guys threw this in. He goes, man, we only give that gray box to people that are in the like middle of nowhere that can't get cell reception. Cell reception. And I'm like, well, that's odd because we're on the phone right now. So if I needed cell reception, I don't think the call would be going through. Do you get me? Like, does that make sense? Does that track? I don't know if anyone's still in this stream. If anyone's still in this stream, I hope that makes sense to you. That calling someone means that you have like a call connection. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And he tells me, dude, you have the wrong router. And I'm like, what was the point of that FaceTime? What was the point of the video? I showed him the router. We were on the, I did the virtual FaceTime. I showed him the router. And he didn't notice that it was the wrong piece of equipment. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. After that, it was smooth sailing. He goes, oh, well, we'll just order you the right one. Simple. And I'm like, not quite. What if it doesn't work? That's not simple. I'm screwed. And he goes, no, man, I got a good feeling about this one. He said that. He said, I got a good feeling. I'm like, oh my God. I'm not dealing with your average Verizon call center worker here. I realize well, that's the internet provider. Anyways, so close out the story. And this is where I was going with this. This dude looks at me, he says on the phone, it felt like he was looking right through me. He goes, well, your new router's ordered. You need anything else? You thinking about that phone? And I'm like, no, man, I'm just going to go. And he says, all right, well, a high five to both of us for a job well done. And he hung up the phone. He said, and a high five to both of us for a job well done. And then he hung up the phone. So, like, he didn't do anything. Like, I guess he solved the problem. I guess Shedeur Sanders threw 2 touchdowns. But if you were there, if you watched the game, if you understood the context, even from Shedeur's side, it wasn't a good game. But it worked out in the end. The Browns won 30-10. He threw 2 touchdowns with sick field position. So it's like they won. It worked. Like, everybody's stoked on Shedeur, and I don't want to be the guy that's ripping on like a rookie. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be the guy. Like, the problem is fixed, I guess. Like, I guess I was going to get a new router. So I don't want to be mean to the guy, especially because he's a customer service worker, especially because Shedeur Sanders is a rookie. I don't want to be mean, but I saw what happened. It wasn't a job well done. We shouldn't be high-fiving ourselves saying that this was a great performance. We did it, guys. We fixed the quarterback situation in Cleveland. Shedeur Sanders could be the greatest quarterback to ever play from here on out. And honestly, I hope he is, because that would be the funniest possible thing that's ever happened in NFL history. I hope Shedeur Sanders rocks. It would be so fun to watch, and I would make 100 videos about it. But as it stands right now, today, I feel like I'm crazy. Because I'm either getting rage baited by the dead internet, or even worse, I'm wrong about football analysis. So that was my long-winded 15 to 20 minute story about how Shedeur Sanders reminds me of Craig from Verizon. And how that guy single-handedly ruined my Sunday one time. And hopefully Shedeur is not ruining any of my Sundays this year. All right. That's all I got.